We've got athletes and software developers. Let's get started.
Welcome to the ATA Nation podcast.
ATA Nation, welcome back to episode 163 of the ATA Nation podcast. We are thrilled to have you with us. I've got two action items for you to make sure that you do before you go any further. You can click pause right now. You got to go over, hit the subscribe button on YouTube, go over and hit the subscribe button on your favorite podcast player. We want to make ssure this gets out to as many ATA martial arts and future ATA martial arts as possible. One of our last athletes of the week was talking about how they heard about martial arts from YouTube. So we want to reach out, make sure everybody gets the news, help us with that. That would be really awesome. Now, today's episode, we have two great interviews. We've got our interview with an ATA master who has also built this business, and we want to talk to him about his history and then just kind of how he got into different things. Really cool. And then we'll be transitioning over to our athlete of the week. Make sure you stick out to the very end. So we've got some other news for you guys there. Let's get started with our first interview. ATA Nation, we have with us today Master Bowman. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great, Senior Master Hayden. How are you?
I am wonderful. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about just a lot of the things that you're doing to help martial arts school owners. But before that, we wanted to, we always like to hit, how'd you get involved with martial arts?
I'm sure, like a lot of people that are in our age bracket, I loved watching Van Damme movies like Kickboxer, Bloodsport, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, things like that. Kind of coupled with, a little bit of not excessive, but probably minor bullying in what we would call junior high school, middle school now. So I'd actually started martial arts when I was about 6. And when I got to yellow belt, this was in ITF, my mother said it was too violent when we got to sparring. Of course, no gear.
Yeah.
And then when I was about 13, I started in an ATA school outside of Pittsburgh in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. And the rest is history, 35 years later.
Wow, that's cool. That's so a little at 6. Got that, and how many people do you run into? That's the end of their story. They don't. It's like I got my yellow belt, and then they don't do anything else. But you were back at it, master instructor, and you have like you're not just you have a school. You don't have just a school. You've got this whole other thing, and you have a background in kind of technology and stuff, right?
Yes, sir. That is correct. So I have actually a master's degree in information technology, and I worked in corporate America for a little over 20 years. Been like the director of IT at Fortune 500 companies and all sorts of different things related to IT. So when I turned 40, I actually decided to leave corporate America because I wanted to give back more and have a more direct impact from my perspective on people's lives. So I opened up my school in Mequon, which is outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, just almost 10 years ago.
Very cool. Excellent. And not only are you giving back by training your students, and actually, hold on. I want to do a side thing real quick. You've got a big a Tai Chi program. Is that right? You big in the Tai Chi? Is that right?
I do. Yeah. Good research. Yes. I do have a Tai Chi program, and I did Kung Fu as well. So when I was 4th degree black belt, probably about 15-ish years ago, I started learning Kung Fu. And what you may not know is I've had a couple hip operations, sometimes hard to know, but during my second hip operation in my 30s, my Kung Fu instructor said, you should start learning Tai Chi. I said, well, I don't want to do that. Who wants to do Tai Chi? That's like the old ladies in the park or something like that. But I started and just kind of fell in love with it. And we offer it originally as like a side offering, but our Tai Chi program has been pretty robust with, for Tai Chi, we have about 15 dedicated students that have trained for years with me just in Tai Chi.
That's cool. It's always neat to see martial artists, ATA guys and ladies out there that are, they branch out. They do some other things. They, you see some BJJ, you see some other stuff. Really neat. We've done a little, at the pro tech camps. I've done a little Tai Chi, but nothing real big. So that's cool. But you do. I mean, I don't around here. You get calls from usually the older generation who are like, "Hey, do you offer any Tai Chi?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I don't have any Tai
Yeah.
Chi."
Just travel to Milwaukee. We'll take care of
There you go.
them.
Send them up your way. Yeah, for sure. Well, now with your IT background and stuff, you started helping martial arts school owners, and I don't know where it started. Was it the social media first, and then the websites? How did this kind of evolve into helping school owners in kind of that digital world?
So what I did when I opened the school, in the back of my mind, I always had this idea for Manage My Dojo, where we would, as I was opening the school, I'd think, well, I need this. Okay, well, of course you need a website. Well, it takes time to do social media every day. Okay, well, it takes time to make these posters for a parents' night out. It takes time to do a women's self-defense seminar. Whatever these things are,
Mhm.
I just thought, well, it would be great if I need them, other people need them. So why not make systems that, for what I need for my school to be successful, allow other schools to come on? So it started with social media, and then websites. And we did that for probably a year. And everyone kept asking me, can you do Facebook ads? Can you do Facebook ads? And I kept saying, no, 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 because it takes a lot of time. So we originally started doing some different things around AI before AI was like a buzzword, and that was quasi successful. But now we've obviously evolved. We have a full dedicated team that does, nothing but Facebook ads. We can talk more about our software, school management stuff. But yeah, so to answer your question, it all started with, if I need it, I'm going to make this, and we're going to try to have a really great value and top tier things for, started with just ATA schools being the primary target for this.
Yeah, and I one of the things I always like is being able to do business and to be supportive or even just partner with ATA people just because they know what we're doing. Not that all martial arts industry people are very similar, but ATA has its specific things that it's nice to talk to an ATA person when it comes to a website or whatnot that way. And so what like for you, if you think about like the things that you've learned through martial arts, how have you had to use that as you've worked towards building this whole other business? And I know you worked on this a new software product for school owners that has been quite the endeavor. How have you had to like maybe use some of those martial arts skills, maybe not kicking the computers or anything that way, but hopefully the more mental side?
I think I've told several people that, going through this process of making the software has been a master's class in persistence. And if they could make a movie about it, I think maybe that would be my life story. The making of a movie of making of the software would be quite a thing. But persistence and consistency, right? Just getting through it, trying to work with developers. I don't think people understand. I even tried it. My parents asked me, my brother asked me, my girlfriend asked me, like, why can't you're just making stuff to run a karate school? Why does this take years and years to get done? So it's hard for people to understand, I think, the level of the detail and people involved in something like this.
And it's I mean, managing you have like quite a giant team now between doing, websites and social and, the ads and now the software. What's it like managing a team? I'm guessing it's probably somewhat like managing, a taekwondo team or whatnot.
It is. It's obviously a full time job. So we've been as high as 15, actually 18 now, I think, employees that, between like software development, managing the ads and websites. But the thing that you said earlier, Master Hayden, was like, you like dealing with ATA people. People will still, they personally text me. They'll call me. They'll hit me on Messenger, Slack, all these different channels, right? And I really go out of my way to try to, at least within 5 minutes, usually just to either say answer the question or tell them, hey, I'm on a call with somebody. We'll get back to you right away. as opposed to like customer service that goes to like an abyss that you can't get a hold of somebody. I always strive to let people know, like, you can get a hold of me. I am a member of the ATA, of course, and I think people really like that.
Yeah. Now, yeah, I know. I've sent you about a billion messages over the last year or so, and I always feel bad because as martial arts people, we have weird hours, and so like we'll get home and see something like message, and then I think, oh dang it, it's like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I don't need to be sending, like, I don't need them to read this right now. I need to just send it right now because I'm thinking about it. And I'm always like, oh man, I need to stop bothering these people. But it is nice. I mean, I was just yesterday, we had an old software that we stopped using. And I needed to get some sales tax data off it because you got to, report sales tax, all this kind of stuff. And
Yes.
they turned it back on. I could go and get it, and then they turned off the wrong one then. And then my active, it was just a mess. And I'm like, guys, can't you? Anyways, so it's nice to deal with an ATA guy. I mean, and as you grow, I'm sure just like as we grow as school owners, I can't always answer every message, every text, every time. I've got my wife is going to help, or a staff members are going to help, and whatever. And I'm sure you'll get that place when you're, got all these people. But it's still the idea behind it, knowing the people in charge is nice. So, what's it like running a taekwondo school and another business? A lot of people out there think they can only do one thing. You've got two things going. I know right now it's probably a little extra because of the software work, but what's it like, balancing those things?
Sure. It's difficult at times, right? So everyone here on the podcast here knows what it's like running a school. So it obviously demands a lot of time at night, which is allows some free time during the day. But during the day, we should be doing those marketing activities and outreach and things like that. So at times, my personal school had a little bit of a, it kind of ebbs and flows because where your intention goes, right, that's where things
Yep.
flow. And I'm not going to lie, right, if you spend a little bit more time on the school, then the software company goes down a little bit, and if you spend a little bit more time on the software, then the school goes down a little bit. But I had been blessed with some good staff, right? I have a really great program director at the school and great instructors as well. So I've had a lot of help at the school that allowed me to do these kinds of things.
Nice. Well, and some of the stuff you're working on makes the school work better than too. You got these website software ads, all that kind of stuff. It's built for yourself as well.
I mean, we're the number one user. I feel like, though, it's sometimes the saying of the carpenter's house is never done. We always end up helping people, like we help all our clients first before we help ourselves. But yes, of course, we use all of our tools and ads, and it helps our school grow and stay financially viable.
Excellent. Well, we are going to record a video just kind of after this, specifically about the software, that people can check out and whatnot. But if people are interested in any of your services that you have, where would they need to go to check that out?
So they can just go to managemydojo.com, and there should be information there. There's videos they can watch. They can check out our new Sensei, which is our AI branded tool, which is really going to be groundbreaking as well. But yeah, you can check out all the services there, and we appreciate you guys going to check those things out.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Really cool stuff from Master Bowman there. ATA Nation, we have with us an awesome athlete of the week. Can you introduce yourself for everybody, ma'am?
Yes, I'm Kenzie Stacy.
Hi, Kenzie. Now, welcome. We are so excited to have another athlete that the Junior Brand Ambassador have been highlighting. Can you tell us where you train and where you're from?
From Canfield, Ohio, but I train in Mercer, Pennsylvania at the Valor Combat Academy.
At Valor. Excellent. Very good. And what rank are you?
I'm a second degree black belt recommended.
Very good. When do you plan to test for second degree decided?
I'm not sure yet. I still have to complete a few midterms, but in the next 6 months.
Gotcha. Awesome. You looking forward to a new form?
Yes, I am. I've done first degree for so long.
That's usually by the time people test for a second, they're like, I am so done with Shimjun. I don't want to
Yes.
do this. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so what got you involved in martial arts?
Well, when I was little, I just turned 6 years old, and I love to watch the Karate Kid movies, and I used to watch them all the time. And one day, I turned around and I was like, I want to do Taekwondo. It just sounded so amazing. And I used to do gymnastics when I was little, and I wanted to give something else a try. And I've stuck with Taekwondo ever since.
That's fantastic. Awesome. So you started around 6 years old?
Yes,
And I forgot to ask, how old are you now?
I'm 12. I'll be 13 in August.
Okay, so you've been doing it more than half your life. How exciting.
Uh-huh.
So, the competition season.
Mm-hmm.
What's your go to? You're like, I love to compete in this event.
My favorite event is Extreme Weapons. I just love it so much. And especially since I use the sword, I love to do a lot of strikes and tricks with the sword and do butterfly kicks and wushoos and cartwheels.
Nice. So I'm guessing some of that gymnastics training you had before has come in useful with your
Yes,
extreme.
big time.
Very good. Okay. What if you had to pick an event that was maybe not your favorite?
Mhm.
Which one would that be?
I would say traditional forms, honestly.
Really?
Yes.
Very interesting.
Uh-huh.
You think that'll change a little bit when you get to do a new form?
I think so because it depends what form it is and what moves, and sometimes I have more fun with it than others.
Yes. No, that's very true. And you find that different forms they just fit you better,
Yes.
and you have some forms that you're like, this one I just don't feel comfortable in. So
Mhm.
very cool. So you said you do extreme weapons is your favorite. That's you use the sword then as well with that.
Yes, I do.
Do you do? Wait, here's a question. Song choice. Do you have? I assume you have music playing during your extreme.
Yes.
How do you go about picking a good song choice? What's your process, or what do you use?
So for Extreme Weapons, it's not exactly a remix, but it's like a customized song. It's like a samurai song to go with the sword. But my process for picking songs, I usually just think about the songs that are just right for the form and what moves. And sometimes there are remixes, or it's just any song really
Yeah,
that sounds great with like a high tempo and beat. I will
cool.
definitely say
Do you think that having a song that works for you does it amp up the energy level that you're doing in your extreme form then?
yes, definitely. Since all my songs have a very fast beat to them, and it really gives me a lot of energy and powerful yells.
I love it. So, we finished the regular season. How did the
Mhm.
regular season go for you? How did districts go?
It went very well. I placed in a lot of tournaments, and I had some goals set for districts, and I did achieve some. I got 3 district titles.
Nice, congratulations. What titles did you get?
I got district champion and creative forms, creative weapons, and my favorite event, extreme weapons.
Nice, congratulations. So, off to compete in the TOC.
Mm-hmm.
What are your goals there for the TOC?
Really, it's just to have fun and get better. I know it's a very hard tournament, but if I had to pick a goal, maybe just to get third place on the podium. But I'm really there just to have fun and just show off my skills.
I love that. I think it is, we want to set smart goals. The junior
Mm-hmm.
ambassadors have talked about this in past. A lot of our instructors out there are teaching smart goals. And some of the time that we set these goals and we want, most competitors want to be a world champion.
Yeah.
But they know that sometimes this year, that probably isn't the most realistic goal for me to pick world champion this year. But getting on the podium, so I love that you are setting some goals that are, a lot of the times we see everybody set their goal for world champ.
Right.
And it's nice sometimes, I think, to see some people set their goals for, not that I don't want people to set their goals for world champ. Obviously, we want you to be a world champ. We want everybody to be a world champ. But sometimes that might not be this year I want to get on the podium. The next year I'm going to push for this, or next year I'm going to push for that. So I love that. So awesome. What a good leader you are.
Thank you.
And then I assume, have you been in the TOC before?
Yes, I have. This is either my third or fourth time going to Worlds.
Excellent. Very good. So have you walked away with a world title before? Are you continuing that journey? What's it like?
With a world title before or been on the podium, but the more I go to Worlds, the more I see my competition and think of things I could get better at. Definitely.
What a great way to frame that, making sure you're kind of looking at those competitors and seeing how I can
Mhm.
continue to work. You're setting that long term goal so you're learning as you go. What a great example. So, World Championships, not only the TOC, but we've got all the other stuff going on there. What else are you looking forward to at Worlds?
Really just to see everybody that I don't usually get to see at like regional tournaments because everybody comes. I'll meet some new people definitely and hang out, of course.
Yes. It's a big family reunion. I love it.
Yes.
Okay. So, Kenzie, what does it mean for you to be a black belt, a champion that's going beyond the belt?
I'd say an athlete that goes beyond the belt, it means someone who's hardworking, works very hard to achieve their goals. That's something I really think is important and inspires others. I love to inspire other people, especially when they say they look up to me. It makes me feel amazing.
Isn't that so great? What a great leader. I am impressed. What kind of goals do you have? You're inspiring others, even by being one of these athletes of the week. What
Mm-hmm.
kind of goals are you setting for your future martial arts training? Maybe it's tournament, maybe it's other things in martial arts. What are you looking to achieve?
Say, especially since I'm going up in a new age bracket, the 13 and 14 ring, I would say to stay very consistent with my training because the competition only gets harder. So I need to level up, maybe add some more harder tricks to my forms. And I don't know, really.
Yeah.
It's really just to stay consistent in my training.
I love that consistency. I mean, that's so many people they get really hard training and then they relax and just goof off for a while. And they go consistency. That is a
Yes.
great goal. I love that. What do they say? Inch by inch, it's a cinch. That's
Yes.
just little by little. Keep consistent. So I love it, ma'am. You are a great leader out there. Thank you for inspiring others. Thank you for your hard work being a champion going beyond the belt, and good luck with all your competitions.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
ATA Nation Podcast.
Be sure to subscribe and share with your ATA family.